we're going straight
Well, the
into
thing
it.
about high-level play is that a lot of the times you can see yourself in a unfavorable situation, recognize that it's an unfavorable position, accept that it's an unfavorable position, but still find a way out. Just because you have mentally recognized that you are at a disadvantage does not mean you have mentally checked yourself out of the match, and that's a real difference maker in the mental game of these higher level players, and unfortunately that is a terrible initial misdrop from DOREMY.
Yeah. Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. Hopefully DOREMY is... I mean, I'm
hopefully not.
On like a little rest day, just gone straight into another set, and you know these matches are quite emotionally charged, and there's been no harm in asking for like a 3-minute little break, but he's just gone straight into it. And
I don't disagree with the play of going straight into it from DOREMY, especially after the way they ended that set. They just had so much momentum,
you think they want to carry that
by the misdrop.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. At the same time, Malazeski is going to be feeling very fresh, and he's had a little bit of time to wait, and that's one of the advantages of winning in the upper bracket. You get that time to recharge and recuperate.
Definitely varies from player to player, and DOREMY's going to get an extremely count to 4 here, maintaining their surge above all else.
But Malazeski, he's just always in such a safe position. And I think he's so risk adverse that he's always... Almost you hardly see any garbage on his board because he's so good at downstacking it when it comes or cancelling it when it's coming. He's always just in this nice 5-4.
Yeah, you will not see the same garbage line on Mally's board for more than 5 seconds. It's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, and that is an amazing out pressure from DOREMY there.
DOREMY's got a strike. He's got to really put Malazeski on the back foot. I think if he lets Mally play just his game, then as he put in chat, there's not a huge amount he can do. I think DOREMY's got to, things like that. Like
very nice stall from DOREMY. The second that the overstack came out from Mally, the spike was ready. And it's definitely easier said than done to not let Mally play his game, because when you are at a speed advantage, you just have so many options available to you, and Mally is a player who is very aware of what those options are and exactly which one to use at what time. So DOREMY's advantage of just having better macro isn't entirely applicable, and that's probably why they had said that initial message. But once again, don't count DOREMY out, one of the most adaptable players the scene has ever seen. And we're starting to see that as they take this lead.
Playing really, really well there. He had great back-to-back, and he put it together in a spike that Mally just couldn't do anything about. And he has to keep that up. He has to keep that pace up. And if he loses that momentum, then Mally will just pounce right back. So he has to just keep up this aggression and keep up this efficiency.
DOREMY is able to make it to the force surge. Very important threshold in this situation. That's actually going to be the difference between living and dying. And it's so often that you look at DOREMY's board, you think it's over, but then DOREMY finds the singular optimal downstack to deal with the pressure. Once again, cycling to another force surge, probably going to be used in canceling here. But I would love to be proven wrong. The Fin, and it's optimal!
Ice spin. The ice spin as well. I'm worried that in the time taken to do that spin and just he's lost some ground here. He's ceded some ground, and Malazeski is so good at taking that ground. And
it comes out from DOREMY, but this is an extremely dependent queue. Luckily, they have the surge to offset, but that's exactly what they needed.
I'm very impressed that some of those builds by DOREMY actually paid dividends. Like that shows that even a player like Mally can fall victim to those more involved, more complex setups. But with a spike like that, that is Malazeski just saying, no, I'm having none of that. You know, I'm just gonna wipe you out off the face of the earth with a 300 APM round. So that was really, really nice.
I think DOREMY was a victim of choice paralysis there. Like, I could just hear a Vine Boom with every rejected thought that DOREMY was going through there. Like, can I do this? No. Can I do this? No. And then they end up mis-sequencing everything with the amalgamation of thoughts. But they are not going to let that put a pin in their momentum.
Malazeski there, he made 2 misdrops in quick succession, and then just took his hands off the keyboard for a second because he was hopefully it's not frustration sort of slipping through, because in a set like this, you lose your cool. It can go from bad to worse. So, but
I mean, when you think about it, all it takes is one misdrop. Imagine what happens when you add a second one. That's exactly what's happening to Mally in these situations.
But he's back to his 5-4 that he loves. It's like his trademark, his 5-4 stack. It's so...
Like, it's so common for you to see 6-3 be so prevalent. So, like, when you see the one shift, it's just so interesting to watch.
I'm a huge 5-4 advocate. I love it. It's like my favorite way of stacking.
It's like, comfy.
It's good. And if you've got like really good vision, it gives you so many options. It gives you so many possible ways you can continue the T-spins, and especially with all spins. Like, it is it's super viable, and I think it doesn't get enough love.
And that was actually the most ridiculous initial well possible for Mally, but unfortunately DOREMY's continued pressure forced Mally to take a lot of that outside of back-to-back, so they weren't able to build any kind of pressure lead, but DOREMY is upstacked way too high to tank there, and Mally's able to take the point anyway. Calling out the copy pasta in chat is crazy, just doesn't even rhyme. Oh no.
Personally, I'm glad to see that this is a closer affair than the last set, you know. Really.
Thus is the expectation. You've had an entire set to adapt to your opponent's decisions, and coming in with a completely fresh mind, it only makes sense that things get closer.
Good to see DOREMY actually, like, he has obviously adapted, and he's adjusted his playstyle in a way which he thinks is going to give him a better shot against BRZENK. So hopefully he continues that, and this one can get even more tense. Let's have a look. BRZENK, he's
DOREMY's risk aversion there is so nice. They just literally averted every risk with one decision, and now they're gonna have well access by the time the spike comes out. If it's going to be enough to outcycle, I'm not sure, but because Mally doesn't have a follow-up after the surge, DOREMY's fine, able to find the next well, and we're gonna return straight back to neutral.
PPS difference over this whole point, and that's, I think, worth noting, because
yeah, a 1 PPS difference is ridiculous, especially at this level. That's a world's of advantage.
But this is a very even point, so it really goes to show that speed is good, but it's, you know, decisions are, that's the heart of this game. That's the
what C-spin find from DOREMY? And that actually is going to be exactly what they need. Looking for this well access, able to find it before Mally is able to get down.
Don't like Mally playing that quickly, because if you lose a point like that when you're playing the whole PPS faster, you can start to lose confidence, because you think, why have I lost that point when I'm playing a whole PPS faster? And then things like that can start impacting your mental game, I think. And so whether
that definitely depends. I think it's more of a bell curve in that sense, because at this level of play, you've dealt with that exact scenario so many times that you're probably used to it, and you probably have an adaptation line at least in muscle memory by this point.
Yeah, I think, especially when it comes to like it's quite physically exhausting to play at speed for such a prolonged amount of time. So whether BRZENK needs to just slow down a little bit, or if he's fine playing 4 PPS for a whole 2 minutes. I mean, I know personally that does wear me down a little bit, but he is a freak of nature, to be fair. So maybe it's different, you know.
I mean, to be fair, all speed does is give you more options. If you don't know what to do with those options, then might as well not have speed at all. All it is going to be is a survival tool, not too much of a pressure tool. And DOREMY is an amazing player when it comes to recognizing exactly what options are on the table for both themselves and the opponent.
Yeah, like that is a beautiful spike by DOREMY, but BRZENK's just...
Even though it was a beautiful spike, unfortunately it was forced. It's not exactly what DOREMY was looking for there with that 8-1 stack. So they're not actually able to compound this into any advantage. And actually they're going to be in pretty far disadvantage if Mally had not misdropped at that point there.
That is quite gutting that Mally misdropped that, because he had a big spike coming. I think he could recognise that, and now by misdropping that, that's going to be slightly aggravating. I think he's got to take a deep breath and just not let this set slip away, because DOREMY is so good at pouncing on little lapses in concentration, little frustrations like that. So yeah, but he's done a really good job. DOREMY's got some cheese he's got to work through. Cheese like that is so annoying. You kind of feel like you're just shafted by the board.
Yeah.
And DOREMY didn't do a whole lot wrong there. He just got super unlucky with the cheese RNG there. That was painful to watch, to be fair.
C-spin comes out from DOREMY. And the well access isn't immediate from Mally. The eyepiece just barely able to get it in time, and DOREMY does not have the pressure that's required to counter the counter spike.
Hey, no. Oh, this is getting too much. I can't take it.
It's getting dicey. These players are 100% on Deuce pace right now. Are we gonna see it? I kind of hope so. I'm sorry if you want to go to sleep, but like, let's be for real.
There's no snoozing in this set. This is as exciting as you're gonna get. Two giants of Europe facing off.
Lock in, eyes wide open.
That's a good film. Yeah, no, honestly, this is nail biting stuff. This is really nail biting stuff.
Okay.
And imagine how the players are feeling. These players have a good handle on their emotions, but I think even these players are going to be, their heart's going to be beating a little bit quicker than usual at this point.
There are so many things I wanted to retroactively call out there, but because it was so many, I've just like forgotten them. They just like overrid every single memory. Like Mally has just been completely leveraging the speed advantage.
DOREMY loves worlds like this where he can just push it all together in a huge spike. There we go. And
what a down stack spike, getting almost all the way to floor 33.
That was so clever by DOREMY because he had a huge back-to-back, and I could see he had a lot of garbage. He wanted to just put it all together in a huge spike, but he was looking for the down stack. But while looking, he was also continuing back-to-back. He's such a, it was so well crafted, that spike, and he was continuing the back-to-back almost to manipulate his board to actually allow him to do that huge spike. It was masterful. It was really cool to watch.
100%.
And he's got another back. He's going to want to put that together to a spike, and he's done a really good job of it. DOREMY's so good at.
DOREMY's so good at finding these down stack spikes.
Yeah, he sends the surge, and he just has that follow-up damage to really finish his opponent off. It's really, really cool to watch. And it's something
Mally ended up misdropping multiple times against the C-spin. DOREMY's really about to start cooking up an advantage from here. It's going to be entirely up to Mally's cycle if they're able to continue to survive from this point forward. DOREMY does keep getting forced into 8-1 and 1-8 stacks though, so the pressure is definitely going to be cut from here. I would not be surprised if we see a deuce by this point because the advantage is definitely in Mally's point by now. But once again, insane down stack from DOREMY.
BRZENK got right to the bottom, and as I said before, it's not really the place you want to be right at the bottom with no material on your board. You want to be like mid-board with stuff to actually send. So we'll have to see how this pans out.
No, the O piece isn't gonna go over.
Deuce. If only. I mean, it was destined, right, to be this close. I think
it had to be.
This is
DOREMY really fighting tooth and nail for this reset.
Oh, BRZENK with the eyepiece on the left. He's got to navigate this carefully because that's a very risky decision. Yeah, sometimes just one eyepiece on column 1 or column 10 is game over. That's how brutal this Tetris is.
And DOREMY has definitely done a lot of adaptation. It's so cool to see how far they've come in this matchup. Going from being forced to find opportunities to now making their own opportunities. In this 2-7, taking all the way up to the sky, knowing exactly how much they're allowed to get away with, and that's exactly what they needed to see, because otherwise they definitely would not have been able to cancel all of the pressure outright. But is it going to be enough? Not quite, and we're right back at a deuce.
It's extremely adrenaline. This is extremely, yeah. These players' hearts must be beating now quite quickly.
DOREMY going for the C-spin tank route. You're really trying to leverage knowing the fact that Mally's going to be sending clean.
Yeah, that was well put together. And now DOREMY's got some cheese to work through, and he's not able to work through it well. That was a brilliant round by Malizeski. He sent a huge spike that he knew would put cheese on his opponent's boards, and he quickly built up another spike and sent it off. And that was great macro play. That was really good understanding of his opponent's board state.
And that's definitely one of the main differences between sustain and burst. It was multiple bursts there rather than pure sustain, so DOREMY was not able to actually build an adequate counter. They just no time to react. Oh no, the well's not open yet. DOREMY is able to get down, but it's still not looking that good at the moment. The well is shifting in very unfavorable ways, now having a lot of cheese on their board. But Mali just doesn't have the pressure to kill.
Now, Malizeski's got some cheese he has to work through, which is that's going to frustrate him because he wants to have these really clean boards where he can put together a lot of pressure. And when he has cheese, he's forced to downstack. But he always downstacks it really well, and he doesn't get carried away and like build on top of his cheese, which can be really fatal for when you're at this level if you build on top of cheese. And
Mali's just playing extremely clean right now. The material maintenance was looking really nice, able to find these fractals as well, almost building mech shape. And oh no, DOREMY needed to cycle one more piece. They went for it, and it's just not in the cards. The reset dream is over, and we have our W.
Well done, Malizeski. That is that's massively deserved, and yeah, congratulations. DOREMY put up a lot better fight than he did in the upper bracket finals, but it still was not. I don't think DOREMY should be too unhappy. That was basically as close as it could be. And
you haven't seen the chat message. Yeah, it was good grands. Almost got it. Very much happy with their performance. Rightfully so. Still able to make it to the 11th threshold, even if it wasn't enough to win.
Yeah. I think for someone like DOREMY, who is very competitive, if you got smashed in the finals like you did in the pack finals, that could be something to really be bothersome. That could have really, upset him. But to make it that close, you just got to accept. You just got to put your hand up and say, "Well played, you played better." But I think there's nothing to be ashamed about for DOREMY. That was a great effort.
Not at all.